Hello, my name is April Vollmer, and I wanted to speak to you today about the evolution of International Mokuhanga since 2015 and the publication of my book, Japanese Woodblock Print Workshop. I'm a New York artist, author, and educator with a master's degree from Hunter College in New York, and I've specialized in Mokuhanga since participating in the Nagasawa Art Park program in 2004. My book on the history and contemporary use of Mokuhanga was released by Watson Guptill in 2015. First, I wanted to thank the International Mokuhanga Conference for the hard work and creativity in response to the challenges of a suddenly hybrid program. The isolation imposed by the pandemic makes maintaining our connections especially vital. I'm indebted to the late Keiko Kadota for her residency programs and the IMC conferences of 2011 and 2014 that gave me the understanding essential to writing my book, Promoting Mokuhanga Outside Japan. I take this opportunity to reflect on some of the changes in the Mokuhanga community since its publication. First, I wanted to say a few words about my teacher, Vincent Longo, an abstract painter printmaker based in New York City, who was my teacher at Hunter College and died in 2017. His understanding of the essential commonalities between printmaking and painting laid the foundation for my commitment to printmaking. His work was based on the fluid exchange between the two, one informing and enlivening the other. He was able to balance the grid and the gesture with perfection. Akira Kurasaki's death in 2019 was an immense loss to the world of Mokuhanga. A scholar and an artist, he made prints, paintings, collages, and works in paper. He combined technical mastery of Japanese craft traditions with an understanding of cutting-edge contemporary art. In 1987, he became professor of printmaking at Kyoto Seika University and initiated programs in the serious study of Mokuhanga and creative papermaking. He was an IMC honorary board member in 2011 and 2014. Fluent in English, he was an influential teacher of international artists. He taught past IMC chair Karen Kuntz, current chair Anu Vertinen, and board members Tula Moilanen and Ralph Kidgel, as well as many artists currently working in the Mokuhanga around the world. Many more have studied with the fine artists who worked with him and went on to teaching careers. I share the goals of the conference: to give visibility to craftspeople in Japan, to provide educational materials for teachers, and to demonstrate the wide variety of approaches to creative Mokuhanga around the world. Past conferences provided an opportunity for creating personal friendships among artists living in different countries, including Australia, Canada, Finland, Italy, Japan, Norway, Poland, Spain, the UK, and the US. This year we meet virtually. Tetsuya Noda, Professor Emeritus, Tokyo University of the Arts, is enjoying time in the studio since his retirement. He continues his diary prints with many international exhibitions, most recently Printworks 1 from his daily life at the Ueno Royal Museum in Tokyo. His work is in the permanent collection of the National Museum of Modern Art Tokyo, the Museum of Modern Art New York, the Art Institute of Chicago, the Asian Art Museum in San Francisco, the British Museum London, and many, many more. Also at Tokyo Gaidai, Seiichiro Mida, who was on the board as well, is professor in the printmaking department and has developed an expressive technique of shallow carving. Michael Schneider, also on the board and also at Tokyo Gaidai in the printmaking department, works in non-traditional approaches to printmaking, including performance, installation, and sound. Anu Vertinen, chair of the 4th International Mokuhanga Conference in Nara and professor at the University of the Arts Helsinki, is a master of both oil-based and water-based woodcut. Recognized internationally for her large-scale woodcut installations, in 2014 she won the Prix de Print from the Art and Print magazine with her work Breathing Touch. She has another exhibition now in Finland. Also on the board from Finland, Kari Laitinen has retired from Aalto University but continues making his elegant, subtly colored prints. Tuula Moilanen is founder of the Finnish Woodcut Artists Society. After living in Kyoto for many years, she now teaches in Helsinki and is the author with Kari Laitinen of The Art and Craft of Woodblock Printmaking, Woodblock Printmaking with Oil-Based Inks and the Japanese Watercolor Woodcut. It's a classic. Ralph Kidgel is the IMC Vice Chair and has been producing ambitious new work in Thailand, working freely at a large scale, adapting his training in traditional Japanese mokuhanga by working with Thai wood and paper. Florence Neal, who participated in the MeLab Advanced program in 2013, has an international reputation for thoughtful, interactive art installations. She's brought attention to many mokuhanga artists at the Kentler International Drawing Center in Red Hook, Brooklyn, where she is the director and co-founder. Katsutoshi Yuasa, on the board, with a master's degree from the Royal College of Art, London, is well known for his large format woodcuts based on his photographs. He teaches and lectures about mokuhanga and has participated in many residencies and collaborations, too numerous to mention. But one of his projects was working on this ambitious project in his East Tokyo Mokuhanga studio with artist Tanya Softich, professor of art at the University of Richmond in the U.S. This is her first major work in mokuhanga. She traveled to Tokyo to work with him. Keiko Kadota began the Nagasawa Art Park residency in 1997 with the encouragement of the great Tadashi Toda, internationally famous as the printer for Kath Anne Brown's Crown Point Press Mokuhanga project in the 1980s. Nagasawa Art Park artists have remained connected with exchange portfolios. Nell Pack and Michael Reed organized Snow for the second IMC in Tokyo. A second portfolio, titled Noir, focused on the use of Sumi ink, will be displayed at the Nara conference. And then you have the Snow portfolio artists and the Noir portfolio artists. A lot of overlap from many different countries. After the Nagasawa Art Park program ended, the MeLab residency program began in 2011. It's located on Lake Kawaguchi at the foot of Mount Fuji, just 2 hours from Tokyo. An informal group called the Mokuhanga Sisters bonded during the 2017 MeLab Advanced Mokuhanga residency. Katie Baldwin, Patty Hudek, Sarah Hulsey, Mariko Jesse, Kate McDonough, Yunmi Nam, Lucy May Schofield, and Melissa Schulenberg. Yunmi Nam is professor at the University of Kansas and makes conceptually complex and impeccably executed work. She has taught at Anderson Ranch and taken students to Japan to study mokuhanga and papermaking. This is her award-winning print here. Another of the Mokuhanga sisters is Katie Baldwin, who's associate professor at the University of Alabama, Huntsville, and a 2020 Taiwan Fulbright Scholar. In 2014, she, Mariko Jesse, and Yunmi Nam created the Wood Plus Paper Plus Box Artist Collaborative, exchanging work and exhibiting with additional artists at the IMC Hawaii Conference. The MeLab Advanced Group has organized projects too numerous to mention, involving many other artists and teaching initiatives. Patty Hudek organized an exhibition of Tokyo-based Korean-American Mia Oh, and is working with others, including Melissa Schulenberg, professor of art at St. Lawrence University, on an extensive international Mokuhanga exhibition at the Southern Vermont Art Center, The World Between the Block and the Paper. Kate McDonough organized an exhibition, Kanriki, at the Graphic Studio in Dublin, Ireland, that included 24 artists, many affiliated with MeLab. Scandinavian projects. Karen Helga Morstig and Elizabeth Alsos Strand, who both studied in Japan, have been active in various projects promoting Mokuhanga. In 2016, they organized 20 coastal stations, an 18-day traveling residency in Norway with Usa Anderson, Bess Frimodig, Anu Verdinen, Katsutoshi Iwasa. The project culminated in an exhibition in Norway, October 2016. In Poland, Alexander Wozniak joins Dariusz Kaka, presenting Poland at many international Mokuhanga exhibitions. He has developed a loose personal approach to cutting and printing. Associate professor in Poland, he established a close relationship with Seiichiro Mida at Tokyo Gaida during his residency in Tokyo in 2018, with parallels in their expressive drawing style. In 2018, he enjoyed a residency at Karen Kuntz's Constellation Studios in Lincoln, Nebraska. Keiko Hara, emeritus professor at Whitman College, incorporates Mokuhanga in her ambitious mixed media work. With Akira Takimoto, she established the Mokuhanga Print Center Summer Workshops, bringing together a study of Mokuhanga with a deeper look at Japanese culture in Walla Walla, Washington. With expert teachers Yasu Shibata, Tula Moilanen, Shoichi Kitamura, Keiko Harai, and Ralph Kidgel, the program also includes exhibitions at the Whitman College Sheehan Gallery. Yasu Shibata studied under Akira Kurasaki at Kyoto Seika University. Now master printer at Pace Editions, New York, he has created editions for Chuck Close, Helen Frankenthaler, April Gornick, James Sienna, Francesco Clemente, and many more. Oh, and Yoshitomo Nara. And James Turrell, that's what's illustrated here. In his own work, he prints elegant abstractions using reduction printing to layer intense colors with unbelievable precision. Takaji Hamanaka learned Mokuhanga working at the Adachi workshop in Tokyo and moved to New York City in the 1980s. He has taken Mokuhanga in an original direction, collaging printed bokashi elements to make abstract patterns. He is shown at many print fairs and art galleries, in 2021 at Kristen Lorello Gallery, New York, with his exhibition Future Recollections. Rebecca Salter, internationally recognized for her abstract paintings and her subtly textured woodblock prints, studied traditional Japanese woodblock printing with Professor Kurasaki in Kyoto and has written 2 books on Mokuhanga. She was elected as president of the Royal Academy, London, in 2019. Daniel Heyman, who attended the Nagasawa Art Park in 2003, worked extensively with master printer Cindy Ettinger on a monumental new woodcut work, Janus, exhibited at Katie Tompkins Gallery in Providence, Rhode Island. Assistant professor at Rhode Island School of Design with numerous grants and international exhibitions, he works in many public collections. Since 2011, he has developed a papermaking study program taking students to the Awagami Paper Factory in Shikoku, Japan. Kevin Francis, with a 2013 MFA from RISD, where Daniel Heyman teaches, has developed a unique practice of creating Mokuhanga prints based on meticulously crafted scale models of places that have a personal resonance. His prints are made from 10 or 12 separate blocks. The methodical steps of Mokuhanga contribute to his deliberate way of working. Stella Ebner, also from RISD, studied Mokuhanga at MeLab. Her eccentric prints in Mokuhanga and silkscreen reflect her ability to pick out unexpectedly telling details of everyday life. She is Associate Professor of Printmaking at SUNY Purchase in the U.S. Hassan Kiran studied Mokuhanga with Tetsuya Noda in Tokyo and teaches in Ankara, Turkey, where he prints large-scale mythological woodcuts with references to Anatolian shamanism and healing rituals. I could not conclude a review without mentioning a few of the truly accomplished artists who continue to expand their unique contributions to Mokuhanga. Rosalind Keene incorporates metal leaf in her elegant prints. Mike Lyon continues to innovate with new technologies, and Irena Kekes, whose carving has become more personal and energetic as her prints become larger and more ambitious. Andy Poskovich, professor of art and design at the University of Michigan, began a new Mokuhanga and papermaking program there. Widely traveled with many fellowships, including the Guggenheim, the Fulbright, the Rockefeller, the Pollock-Krasner, and many more, his work was profoundly influenced by ukiyo-e. Finally, a word about the teachers of these teachers. Mara Cozzolino, with a studio in Turin, Italy, in 2019 organized a group of artists to study at 331 Arts Chiyoda, Tokyo, that included Paul Furneaux, Laura Boswell, and Andrew Stone. All have given Mokuhanga workshops in their home countries. In Tokyo, they worked with master carver Shoichi Kitamura, master printer Keiko Harai, and master baren maker Hidehike Goto, a respected artist himself. These exceptional craftspeople deserve special mention as teachers to many Mokuhanga artists, beginning with the Nagasawa Art Park, continuing at MeLab. They have given presentations with internationally, and worked with student groups, including Australian Terry McKenna's Karizawa Mokuhanga School in Japan. Their demonstrations at the 3rd International Mokuhanga Conference in Hawaii are available on that site. Today, there are so many artists working in Mokuhanga outside Japan, it is no longer possible for me to offer a comprehensive overview. I present some of the most inspiring and significant artists making woodcuts and teaching Mokuhanga visible to me from New York City. These creative printmakers have promoted the cross-cultural understanding that first drew me to study this traditional Japanese technique. Their wide-ranging intelligence is reflected in their prints, enabling people to see beyond cultural boundaries and toward a more inclusive global perspective. Thank you very much.